So we are in skill 7, graphing quadratics part 1. So get out your notes so you can take notebooks. Or get your notebooks so you can take notes. The page number's at the bottom. And we're going to be talking about graphing quadratics. So if we just remember really fast, quadratics is anything with like a y equals an x squared. So it's limited to the second power. Remember the basic shape. It either looks like a parabola opening up or opening down. So kind of some parts of the quadratic. The vertex is the point. So you're going to want to draw this and identify this. The vertex is the point that's like the center of it. The axis of symmetry is at whatever x equal value the vertex is. The axis of symmetry is what we could fold it on. Our y-intercept is wherever we cross the y-axis. Our x-intercept is wherever we cross the x-axis. So we have our vertex, which helps make the axis of symmetry. The vertex is the point h comma k, or the vertex is a point x comma y, and then that y value makes it the axis of symmetry. Our y-intercept is where we cross the y-axis, our x-intercept is where we cross the x-axis. So we're going to go ahead and identify that on this question. So when I look at it, is the parabola opening upwards or down? It's opening downwards. It wants the x-intercepts. I don't cross the x-axis at all, so I'm going to write none. I appear to cross the y-intercept here at -7. So we type in -7. The vertex is -4, -3. And with that, our axis of symmetry, it's not really straight, but where we would be able to cut it in half is at x equals -4, which we got from our vertex. So that's just how to identify these basic parts of a parabola. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and talk about graphing or finding the vertex from vertex form. So vertex form looks like this. There's h and k. H is the x coordinate of the vertex, and k is the y coordinate of the vertex. So notice how it's -k. So I have a -2, a -3. Oh. So what that would look like is my h is a +2. My h is a +3 because it's going to be the opposite of what's ever in there. Then my vertex, like we just saw, is at 2 and 3. My k is what's ever added at the end. So my k is 3. My k is 1. And that also shows up here and here. So you want to be taking these notes, highlight if it's helpful for you. And now we're going to practice actually graphing these. So if I think of the equation as a x minus h squared plus k, my h is 5, my k is 3, so my vertex is 5, 3. It wants us to use 5 points I'm going to put the work in the middle. So it wants us to use 5 points, the vertex, 2 to the left of the vertex, and 2 to the right of the vertex. So I have 5, 3. I'm going to pick 2 points below that, 4 and 3 is my input, and then I'd put that into the equation y equals 2, 4 minus 5 squared plus 3. I get out that and that would equal 11. And then I go 2 points above, 6 and 7. Because I have an axis of symmetry, I should get the same values on either side. So let's go ahead and plot these. My A is positive, so I also have a feeling it's going to open up. So I have the point 3, 11. It's going to be off just a little bit. The point 4. Why won't they stay? Okay, this is what this graph would end up looking like, and I would have my vertex, my 2 points to the left, and my 2 points to the right. Okay, I want you to pause the screen and try this one on your own. I will walk through it, but I want you to try to identify H and K from this. And then you'll have your vertex. So my negative H is -2, which makes my H 2, and my K is my 1. So the vertex of 2, 1. I'm going to do 2, 1. I'm going to do 1 and 0, 3 and 4. And then I'd plug y equals 3, 4 minus 2 squared plus 1. Get out a 13, so I have the point 4, 13. I do the same with the 3. And then we know these will be the same values because of the axis of symmetry, but we can go ahead and prove that really fast. Then we can plot these. And it would look something like this. So this is what you should have gotten for this one that you just did on your own. Okay, now we're going to talk about this idea of standard form. So standard form, we just talked about vertex form. It gives us the vertex really clearly. Standard form looks like this. How we find the vertex is h is negative b over 2a, and then the function value at negative b over 2h is k. So this will make more sense once we practice this. So I know that I need my a is b, c. So if we're going to find a vertex, I know that h equals negative b over 2a, negative 12 over 2 times 1. H is negative 6. My k, everywhere I see an x, I'm going to put in a negative 6. We end up with negative 4. So my vertex, that's my y value, is negative 6, negative 4. So now we're going to graph a video that's in this standard form, or not video, parabola, sorry. We have ABC, h equals negative b over 2a. A is 1. So my h is negative 2. My k, I plug in that negative 2 wherever I see an x. This ends up being negative 1, which is the y. So I have negative 2, negative 1 is my vertex. And based on that, I can go ahead and make my chart. It asks for 5 points. One to the right, or 2 to the right and 2 to the left. So I'm going to put my negative 2, negative 1 in the middle. I'm going to go 1 above, or 2 above and 2 below. And then everywhere I see an x, I'm going to put a negative 4, a negative 3, a negative 2, a negative 1, and so on. And then I'd have the same here when I plugged in. So I'd have these points. And I can go ahead and plot these. And it would look something like this. Okay, this next equation we want to find, you're going to try it on your own, so I'd pause, try this, and then I will do it as well. So we still need to find the parabola, graph the parabola, so we need to find the vertex first. So find H and K. Pause and go ahead and do that. My B is a 10, a negative 10. My H is 5, which makes my K negative 1. And then when I go to graph these, and it will look something like this. Okay, this is similar to what we've been doing. We have A, B, and C, so I want you to pause, find H, find K, and then graph it, 2 points to the right, 2 points to the left. So my vertex is 5, 5. Those are what my points would be. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is talk about converting from standard form to vertex form. Remember that vertex form is y equals a, x minus h squared plus k, and we have a, b, and c. So the great part about this is we already have a. So we can just go ahead and put that in there. I need an h and I need a k. This was the same problem we did on the slide before. We found that h was 5 and k was 5. So that means I'd put a 5 and a 5. So it wants us to write this in vertex form and find the vertex. So remember, vertex form is h equals negative b over 2a. So here's my a, b, c. Two times a sorry. That should be a negative 3. Then we have y equals, and we'd plug that in, or this is technically k, which is our y value of our vertex. So our vertex is negative 3 comma 1, and we'd have y equals, we need to plug in a, x minus whatever h is squared plus whatever k is. I know my k is 1 and my h is a negative 3. And my a is a negative 2. So my final answer would be that. So if we saw something like this that is in vertex form and it wants it to standard form, so that means it wants an answer that does not have any parentheses. So I'm going to write this twice, and then I can FOIL or use the box method. And I end up with x squared plus 2x plus 5. would be what that look like in standard form. So if we write this out, this, we distribute the 2, and then we could get we distribute the numerator and the denominator. And that would simplify to we're making a mistake somewhere. This should be 32. There we go. Go ahead and pause, try the bottom one on your own. And this is what we should have gotten for the bottom one. So this is all for skill 7.